What's going on, guys? Today we're gonna make a quick little video reviewing the Slckr chest mount system. Now, when it comes to Barber innovations, you kind of feel like everything's been invented already until you see something like this. Now, it's a simple idea, but it has to be done properly to be able to be used every single day. So this is the beige Slckr chest rig, and this comes in at around $179. Most of the time you can find on sale, or they do have some sort of promotion or coupon. I think I ended up paying roughly $129 for it, and I can say it is definitely expensive for what you're getting, but it is definitely worth it. Now, let me explain what you can and can't do with all this. So there are specific slots for everything in your Barber kit that you should have on hand at all times. The main slots are the clipper and trimmer, which are elastic bands. Surprisingly, they do hold pretty well. So I like to put my trimmer on the left here. It stays pretty damn tight. Then I like to put my clipper on the right. As you can see, it is definitely in there. Now, when it comes to holding the clipper and the trimmer, you can fit pretty much any clipper and trimmer combo that you have. It's not specific to just Babyliss. These just happen to be the clippers that I had here. Then we have 1 and 2 slots for scissors. In this case, I only have my regular shears on hand, but you would put thinning shears in this one. That's at least what I use it for. And then there's the same elastic bands that go around the machines. You have a bunch of different slots to put combs or brushes. I have my fade brush usually in one of these, and I have a separate fade brush just for cleaning the clippers. So when you spray Cool Care on them, you want to clean off all the old hair. You don't want to be using the same brush you're putting on people's heads for that stuff. So I have 2 brushes, and I have my comb for when I want to cut the top or do scissor over comb or something like that. And then comes the front bottom slots down here, and these are for your guards. Now, the one issue I have, there's only 4 of them, and honestly I understand because you really can't fit much more here. I kind of wish they maybe had like a separate slot. Obviously, as you can see, these slots do get bigger as they go up, and I wish the half guard slot, or at least their first one, I put my half guard in here, but I wish this one had like a second layer, because the half guard is pretty small and pretty thin. I wish I could fit the half and the 1 here by themselves so that I could do my 1.5, my 2, and my 3, because in every single tutorial that I make, the 3 is the biggest guard that I use. It'd be perfect to have all 5 guards that I use right on hand, but I do make it work, and this is how. So our half guard is gonna go in our first slot. I like to put them in with the guard flat part facing towards me, because it makes it much easier to grab this tab and it slides in nice and easy. My next is my 1, then my 1.5, then my 2, and now we're left with my 3 guard. My 3 guard, usually I just either put in between sections, or I'll just put it like right on top of the 3rd. I kind of stack them up. You're really not bumping this into anything. You're not really gonna drop it. It's pretty in there, but if you do bump into something, you can kind of knock it out. But like this, it's not coming out anywhere. So the other option that I sometimes do, just put it on one of the little elastic band straps that we have on the front. Yeah, it sticks out, doesn't look that pretty, but you know what? It's all about functionality. It's right here, it's ready to go. So there's always a way to make it work. So as for fit, you can pretty much fit this on anybody. I mean, the straps have a ton of play. And once you set it up the one time, it'll be staying like that for the remainder of the time you use it, because it does have clips on the sides that you can just detach every time you want to take it off. You don't have to actually undo any straps or change the size or fit. So I took everything out just so that I could flip it over and not pour everything out, and show you the back. So the back here is a back plate that attaches all 4 of the straps. Obviously your neck goes through the top loop here, right in here, and then you hook up these side buckles. It's almost like a seat belt. It's actually fairly easy to put on and take off. Just squeeze. So as for these clips here, they can detach from here, obviously, on the side. This is where I always detach it when I want to take it off, but they also detach up top here. And honestly, I never use that. I leave that on so that it's nice and easy to put this back on when you take it off. Just slip it over your head and clip in the sides. So now that I've discussed pretty much everything I use this for and how I use it, how I set it up, I'm gonna give a quick little pros, cons, and obviously I already said it's worth it, but not everything is perfect. So starting off with the cons, the only ones that I can really think of, obviously, like I mentioned before, I wish it had just one more pocket, or maybe this first pocket had like a dual layer or something, just so I can fit one more guard. I think having one more guard would be really important to a lot of people, because not everybody uses this same setup, but most of the time in a barbershop where you're doing fades, you're using your half, your 1, 1.5, 2, and sometimes you do want to have that third one, like I do. But that's very, very minor. It depends on the person. And I think the way they design this is perfect for encompassing everybody that is in the barber world. Some people might have certain things that they want that they can't get from it. Another con is the price. I never thought that I would be spending almost $200, around $170 or $180. If you do get it on a discount, even at $130, it's a lot of money to spend on something that you just put your machines on to save you a couple minutes here and there. Now, let me discuss the value portion of that. So this turns into the pros, because honestly, those are really the only two cons that I can think of this entire rig. You know what you're getting yourself into if you're going after one of these. If you're even looking at this, it's because you're thinking about some way to improve your timing or maybe your organization. And I think this is definitely gonna do that for you if that's what you're looking for. So going into the pros, the quality of this thing is insane. I mean, it's leather. I don't know if it's real leather, but it definitely feels like it. It's embossed with their logo right here, very nice and simple. If you go for the black one, it has it in like a chrome, so you can see it a little bit more, but I chose the beige colorway because just to be a little bit different. I wear a lot of black, I don't really wanna have it just blend in, but if that's what you're looking for too, and you don't want it to stand out as much, you can get the black one, and honestly, it'll be super useful and it won't look dirty. You do have to take care of it because obviously there's gonna be a ton of hair on this thing at all times, so you don't want to look dirty and look like you're covered in hair. Pro number 2, cleaning it is actually really easy. I turn mine upside down. I take my hair dryer, it gets rid of all the hair in the pockets. I use a alcohol wipe and I just wipe everything down, disinfect it, disinfecting the pockets, stuff like that. Just very, very simple. You don't want to have this thing getting all dirty, so I usually do that at the end of the day, every day, just to keep it all nice. And I store it in a drawer. It's thin enough, you could lay it flat. It'll stay in a really thin drawer or something like that. It really won't get in the way too much. Now, another pro is obviously the organization. For barbers who are consistently busy and don't have time to just put everything back in its place as you're switching items. In this case, it's right on your chest, literally, so you have no choice but to put it in its place because you really can't put it anywhere else unless you're going back to your station. Now, in the beginning, it is definitely difficult. I found myself taking things off my chest rig, using it, and then putting it back on my station when I finished. You do have to consciously, in the first few haircuts, kind of get used to putting it back on here. But once you gain that motion of just pulling the strap and putting the machine back in, or the scissors or anything, when I'm in use mid-client, I usually tend to use only the first strap for the machine or the trimmer. It's tight enough, it's gonna hold it, it's not going anywhere. You're not running a marathon with this thing on, it's not gonna come off or fall out. Back to the quality thing, the buckles are super quality, the straps are super thick. Honestly, I could not find a way to improve this physically, like when we're talking about material wise. It's as good as it's gonna get. And that does merit the price, in my opinion. Like I said, it is expensive, but the most important pro, which is especially what Slckr goes off of and how they market this, is the amount of time you're gonna save. If you save 5 minutes even in a haircut just by having everything on you, you go from 45 to 40-minute haircuts, then you're going to be able to squeeze at least one more appointment in per day. And if you think about 1 or 2 appointments, whatever you're charging, just do the math. I mean, I charge $40 per haircut. If I squeeze an extra one in, 40 bucks, what is it gonna take me 3 days to pay this back? And then everything after that's just making my life easier, and it's making the use of my time a little bit more efficient as well. In my opinion, efficiency is a huge aspect of the barber industry. We need to crank out as many haircuts as we can in a day, and this definitely helps you do that as efficiently as possible. So with all that being said, that was a quick review and discussion about something that can improve your efficiency and maybe help your experience as a barber be just a little bit easier. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and if you did, I'd really appreciate it if you left a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and thanks for watching.